stanno competendo. Ultima cosa, che è quella poi più importante, è quella che conta veramente e quella che poi fa scaturire il team vincitore e ahimè anche i team quindi perdenti, è il market share, quindi quella che è la quota di mercato. Quindi qual è l'obiettivo ultimo pratico di MarkStrat, di questo corso? È quello di cercare di rubare, di ottenere, di guadagnare, forse sarebbe il termine migliore, la quota di mercato maggiore. Allora, mi dicono che forse, ecco, che l'ospite è arrivato, con lui ovviamente lo introduco in inglese e quindi farò un po' di change. Hugo, can you hear me?
Yes, Sarah, hello, and buongiorno a tutti. I can hear you well. How are you?
We are fine, thank you. We hope you are fine too.
I'm fine, thank you.
Let me introduce you, Hugo. Okay, so good morning, Hugo, and welcome. This is Hugo. It's a manager of Stratix, that is the company that has MarkStrat software. He is actually sales representative and support of Stratix. It's a pleasure for us that you are our guest today, Hugo. So thank you again. Thank you very much for having accepted our invitation today. Actually, I have just introduced MarkStrat, what we did in our university. And so if you allow me, I'm going to finish my brief presentation. I introduce you, and then I leave you the floor. It's, for you, it's okay?
Yes, this is great.
Ok, thank you. Ok, quindi finisco brevemente e poi lascio, come vi dicevo, la parola al mio ospite, a Hugo, in modo che insomma lui saprà insomma, meglio di me illustrarvi quelle che sono le caratteristiche. Lui potrà anche condividere il suo schermo, quindi vi farà poi vedere diciamo, cosa si vede in pratica, no? Cosa mostra appunto il software di MarkStrat. Io concludo in realtà riportandovi, ecco qua me li sono stampati, alcune diciamo feedback che mi hanno mandato degli studenti quest'anno, sono email di base che loro mi hanno mandato come feedback alla fine del corso. Allora, vi dico solo il nome, insomma il cognome per privacy non ve lo dico. Allora, Federico scrive Best Aspects of MarkStrat Simulation. Ve li leggo, il corso è in inglese, ho omesso di dirlo, quindi questi feedback, anche se gli studenti, qualcuno è italiano, molti altri sono internazionali, comunque sono tutti in inglese, ma non credo ci saranno problemi. Allora, Federico dice, quindi Best Aspects of MarkStrat Simulation, Variability, very realistic business simulation, transparency of the results achieved, interactivity and depth of available analysis and tools. Quindi il primo feedback. Il secondo da parte di Ludovica che dice It allows to see the historical data about the company in order to see past transactions and to take decisions according to them. Second point, it is a good representation of how company works and how to take decisions to run the business. Ultimo punto di Ludovica, the use of the software is intuitive. E poi ho un ultimo feedback invece da Giulia, questo è scritto un po' più piccolino, quindi lo avvicino. I found that the best aspect of MarkStrat was that of pushing us to make decisions based on the actual data we had in the market reports, especially at the beginning and when launching new products, we knew that if we wanted to place ourselves first, we had to interpret in the right way what the market reports were telling us. Quindi questa ragazza in realtà ci ha già detto che era lei la vincitrice, si è esposta. She was the winner. This last one, Hugo.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Ultimo punto, also the fact of being able for the first time to see what impacts of our strategic decisions had on the market and on our product performance. Quindi questi qua sono i feedback degli studenti, che devo dire sono sempre molto, molto contenti di questo corso. Oltre poi, e con questo veramente concludo, però ci tenevo a dire che questo corso è importante perché oltre a, come dire, stimolare e ampliare le loro capacità accademiche e soprattutto pratiche, quindi quelle che si chiamano hard skills, fa sviluppare in realtà una serie di soft skills. La più importante forse è quella di team building, quindi la capacità, no, di creare legami all'interno del gruppo e poi di saper lavorare, no, insieme a un gruppo. E devo dire poi spuntano anche parecchie doti all'interno, insomma, dei gruppi, quelle che sono le doti di leadership, doti comunicative. E quindi devo dire che è sempre un corso, insomma, che ci dà grandi soddisfazioni, e la cosa più importante è che dà grandi soddisfazioni agli studenti che lo seguono. Allora, io mi taccio un secondo, lascio la parola a Hugo. Hugo, I leave you the floor if you are ready.
Yes, yes, I am ready, Sarah. Thank you very much
Thank you too.
for your presentation about MarkStrat. I found it very inspiring, and I'm really glad to be able today to be invited, well, for the anniversary of your University of Tor Vergata. So for this special event, I have prepared also a special presentation of MarkStrat. I'm going to show you actually a journey across the simulation. So we'll go over its history, present its main features and different versions. So yes, so I am now going to share my screen and cut the camera so that you can see the entire presentation. So, okay. Oh, so actually, it seems like I'm not able to share my screen to show you the presentation. There was something about the host of the Zoom that disabled the sharing function. So if it can be enabled again, so that
Okay.
I can project to the screen.
Okay,
Thank you.
let us know what happens. Okay. Okay, can you see the slides, Hugo?
Yes, I can see the slide for the Regia, but I cannot share my slides on my end.
Ah, ok, because
This
he
is the
has,
problem.
lui ha le sue slide, ha un suo materiale e lo vorrebbe condividere. Ok, e quale... Ok, esatto. Ah, ok. So Hugo, they are
Yeah.
fixing the problem. So I don't
Okay,
know if you,
great.
meanwhile, want to tell something more without slides. I'm sure that they will fix the problem.
Yes, thank you for the update, Sarah. Actually, I can see that now I can share the screen, so I'm going to do it right
Ah,
now.
wonderful.
And
Okay.
yes, thank you for the change from the Regia.
Okay, try.
So let me then share my
Okay.
presentation. Well, actually, the whole screen will be there.
Yes.
So
Same something. Yeah. Yeah. We
yes,
see.
can you see
Perfect.
the screen? Okay, great.
Yes. Thank you.
So to go back to what I've just been saying is this presentation. I would like to show you a journey across our simulation MarkStrat, which is designed by our company called Studi Simulation. So first, I'd like to introduce us. So tell you a few words about who we are. So Studi Simulations is a pioneer in experiential learning for more than 35 years. And today we have a licensing team which is made up of the following people that you can see here, starting with our founder and chairman, Jean-Claude Laréché. Then there is Paul, who is the director of our office in Boston, United States for the Americas region. In our Paris office, we have a 3 account manager, starting with Patricia. Some of you in the audience may already know her. We have also Elisa and Thomas as account managers. In our R&D team, we have Ali and Aurélien. April is our digital marketing manager. And finally, myself, Hugo, deal with the support and the commercial inquiries. So regarding our company Studi Simulation, I'd like now to tell you a few words about what we do. So in particular, we have an expertise in experiential learning. Our company was founded in 1984 by INSEAD marketing professor and Heineken chair Jean-Claude Laréché. Studi was a pioneer since its beginning in designing business simulations and has up to today built an expertise in marketing simulations that is recognized worldwide. We deliver our world-renowned simulations, such as MarkStrat, in 70 countries, in more than 500 academic institutions that offer our programs every year. Our simulations fit a multitude of programs, so it can be academic programs, executive programs, or corporate programs. Our simulations are, of course, adaptable to any class size. It can be for small groups or for classes involving hundreds or thousands of students. Our simulations, as you can see, they are also web-based, and therefore they are completely suitable for online as well as on-site programs. Our simulations are also valued for their quality and for their great impact on learning. And finally, our simulations also have grading tools, which Sarah mentioned, that can be used to assess your students. So the our company, Studi Simulations, has a worldwide reach. We provide simulations in 70 countries. We partner with global MBA and top European business schools around the world, and we also have a growing number of corporations that use our simulations today. So as I just told you, Studi designs simulations to academic and corporate programs. Currently, we have a portfolio of 8 simulations. On the one hand, we have 4 in-depth simulations. The 3 of them are actually the 3 versions of MarkStrat, which I'm going to present today. And they are for teaching the strategic marketing concepts. But there is also one simulation called BOSS, which is for teaching strategy and innovation with the concepts of the blue ocean theory. On the other hand, we have 4 simulations which are more focused. So Digital Media Pro is for teaching the digital media transformation concepts here. Brand Pro is for teaching positioning and targeting concepts. Mix Pro is for teaching the marketing mix concepts. And RevManX is for teaching the sales and negotiation concepts with the objectives of company value creation. So, you may wonder, why use Studi simulations in your programs? Well, put simply, our simulations, they make learning memorable. And let me explain why. First of all, our simulations offer real-world practice in a risk-free environment. So they also enhance the engagement of students. At the individual level, they drive the business acumen, and at the collective level, they develop the teamwork skills of the students. Moreover, they increase the retention of knowledge while transforming the mindset of the students. And finally, they challenge their critical decision-making skills. So this entire learning by doing approach is, as I showed you, trusted globally and has earned Stratix a worldwide recognition. So now I would like to focus on MarkStrat. And for this, yes, actually, I'm going to stop the video so that you can see the entire screen. So as I said at the beginning, I'm going to present you the history behind the creation of MarkStrat, and by giving you some quick historical facts. So in the mid-70s, Jean-Claude Laréché, our founder, developed MarkStrat when he just joined INSEAD, the business school in France, after having studied computer engineering and computer software in Europe, and also after having obtained his PhD in marketing at Stanford University, where he followed courses from John McCarthy, who is one of the founders of artificial intelligence. So Jean-Claude combined his expertise in marketing and artificial intelligence to design a simulation integrating the existing theories and behaving in ways similar to real market and business firms. So that's when in 1997, the original version of MarkStrat was published in the United States by the Scientific Press, located in the Silicon Valley, close to San Francisco. This was an immediate success. Leading business schools such as Stanford, MIT, Columbia, and INSEAD rapidly adopted MarkStrat, but also large corporations, including Nestle in Europe and General Electric in the United States. So in 1984, Stratix Simulations, the company, was created in order to respond to the growing demands of MarkStrat internationally and to continuously invest in its development and to adapt MarkStrat to the technological investment. So for instance, MarkStrat was first available on the mainframe computers. Over time, it was adapted to be available on mini computers and then microcomputers. And more recently, it has become available online. So each new version has also brought further improvements. The current version of MarkStrat, which is used today, is the MarkStrat 0.7 version, and it offers several scenarios. For example, the teams, they can start with an equal or a different initial situation in their industry where they compete. New simulations have been recently developed based on the MarkStrat core model to address specific learning objectives, such as digital MarkStrat and circular MarkStrat, which I'm going to present more in detail. So today, these three simulations, these three versions of MarkStrat, they make up what I should call the MarkStrat family. So here you can meet actually the members of that family. The number one, the elder of the family is MarkStrat, as I just saw, it's considered as the number one strategy marketing simulation. And it was followed by digital MarkStrat and circular MarkStrat, which are available since 2020, so more recently. So, and having said that, digital MarkStrat is to give the teaching a digital edge, and circular MarkStrat is to include, so to give the teachings a sustainable edge to the instructors who use our simulations. So let me start by introducing the MarkStrat classic, let's say classic version of MarkStrat. So above all, MarkStrat is a great marketing learning platform. I'm sure you've already heard from Sarah's testimony that indeed MarkStrat is the perfect tool to experience brand portfolio strategy, segmentation, and positioning. MarkStrat is also a successful experiential learning tool where the students can take marketing mix decisions. The simulation can be run for 10 virtual years and covers 12 to 23 hours of program. So the participants, the students, they can compete in teams against each other in a virtual industry. They have access to a great number of reports for the analysis, and they can manage their company. Each team manages its own company and the marketing division as a profit center. So what are the key learning benefits of MarkStrat? Well, in addition to the engaging aspects of the learning by doing approach, what is great with MarkStrat is the possibility to access essential marketing tools like the perceptual maps, which of course I'm going to show in the preview in a moment. But before that, let me stress that students will also be able to monitor the changes in the market, to anticipate the strategies of the other teams, of their competitors, but also to plan for their own long-term strategies and also to secure a competitive advantage. The key to success in MarkStrat is to place actually the customer needs at the heart of the strategy. And now let me say a few words about the role of the participants. So their role is actually to implement the long-term marketing strategy of their firm. And well, here you can see the different strategies. So one is for product portfolio, the other is for segmentation and positioning, and the last one for marketing mix. So I will present each of these three strategies later when I preview MarkStrat. But just a few words, this strategy allows to develop and position products. And this is the main measure of the team's success in MarkStrat. As an instructor, using MarkStrat, you can measure, in fact, the success of the teams by referring to the SPI, the share price index, and then give them a grade based on the SPI score. So all the teams will start with an SPI of 1,000 level. If they create value, the level goes above 1,000, and if they destroy value during the simulation, it goes below 1,000. So the students will be able to compete in teams, in companies, and in two different markets. So there is one established market and one emerging market. In the established market, the teams will start by managing two existing products. And in the emerging market, the teams will also be able to develop products, but products related to a different product category. This emerging market does not exist at the start, and it represents a different challenge because the products and consumers from this market are totally different. Overall, the teams will have the opportunity to extend their portfolio with up to 5 brands, 5 products. So here you can see the consumer segments in both the established and the emerging markets. So the consumers in MarkStrat are already classified into segments. For the established markets, the segments are explorers, shoppers, professionals, high earners, and savers. And in order to target the interesting segments, teams must understand the needs of each segment, their habits, their market perception, and their expected growth. So throughout the simulation, the segments are defined by different needs, size, and evolution. So now I'm going to change from the presentation to actually sharing you the preview of MarkStrat, which is available online. So here you can see the preview of MarkStrat. And this represents the dashboard where the teams, where the students log in and make the decisions as a team. So let me show you the main logic behind the main structure, actually behind the dashboard. So on the leftmost side, there is a prepare section where the students have documentation to understand the rules of how the simulation works and what kind of decisions they are expected to make. So this is the prepare section. Then in the central part of the dashboard, you have 4 sections, which are more for the analysis. There is all the information needed for their company, for the industry, for the consumers, in order for the students to base their strategy, which they then execute by entering the decision screens, which are on the right side of the dashboard. So now that I've given this overview, let me focus on what the analysis and decision screens look like. So starting with the analyze part, in the company results, you can see here the company dashboard. So this is where the students will have information about their share price index, which they need to maximize during the simulation. They also have the evolution of their revenues and of their earnings before taxes. So this is for their own team, but they have the same financial information for the teams with which they are competing. So here you can see in the industry dashboard the items I just mentioned, SPI, revenues and net contribution, not only for their team, so this is for the team M, but also for the other teams, so R, S, T, and L. So in addition to the company results and the market and competitive news, there is the market research section, which is very interesting because it has two modules. The first one is the module for the perceptual mapping, and it's here in the multidimensional scaling. So here in the multidimensional scaling, you can see graphs which have the values for the dimensions of performance, economy, and convenience. And on each graph are represented the segments in the simulation. So as you can see here, it's professionals, high earners, explorers, and shoppers, and then savers. So each segment has its own value. And in addition to that, you can see also a dot for each brand, which of course needs to get closer to the segment they are interested in. So this is the multidimensional scaling. You have the information about the ideal values also in the form of tables. This module is important because the dimensions they are influenced by the product attributes, and actually students modify these attributes of their brands, of their products, in the research and development decision menu, which I am going to show you in a moment. So each product in MarkStrat, in the established market, has a certain number of features, has a design index, a battery level, a display size of the screen, a processing power, and of course a price. So after the perceptual mapping, still in the market research, there is also one screen, the market forecast, where the students can actually visualize and anticipate the growth of the consumer segments. As you can see here, each segment has its own color, and it has its own forecasted growth rate. So this is for the next period, and this is for 5 periods. So this information is also crucial to make the students settle the right strategy. And they do implement their strategy by going in the decide screen, which is here. So the first module of the decide section is the research and development. This lists all the research and development project that the students have undertaken, and where they can actually, as I said, select a certain level for each product attribute for the brands. And then below that, there is the brand portfolio module, where the students are able to manage their brand, so to create a new brand with a new R&D project, or to withdraw a brand, and so on. Then there is the marketing mix screen, where for each brand, so here you have the 3 brands of the team M, well, there is information about the production, and the students need to specify the production level, as well as the price, as well as the advertising budget for the brand, and also set the perceptual objectives across the different consumer segments. Then in the decision module, there is the commercial teams, where for each brand, the students need to allocate to hire or not hire a salesperson, a team of salesperson across the main distribution channels of the simulations, which I am highlighting here. And to help them decide, of course, they have information about the shopping habits of each segment. So in each of the 3 distribution channels, the consumer tend to shop the most. And finally, the students also have here in this section the possibility to order the different reports that is on which they are going to base their strategy. When they are done, basically they can review their decisions clicking on the decision review module, which shows like this. And then the instructor can move on to the next round of MarkStrat, when the decisions are completed by all teams. So now I'm going to go back to the presentation of MarkStrat, after having shown you this preview. And I'm going to transition with the digital MarkStrat version, which which puts digital marketing strategy concepts into action. So as I said, digital MarkStrat was released in 2020. So what are the learning benefits that there are in digital MarkStrat and that are in addition to those of MarkStrat? Well, as essential tools, remember I told you about the perceptual map. Well, in digital MarkStrat, your students, they will also access a purchasing funnel for their brand. And also in digital MarkStrat, the participants, they can develop their strategy by choosing the right balance between digital and traditional marketing strategies. Here again, just like for MarkStrat, in digital MarkStrat, the customer needs are a crucial element for the decision making. So digital MarkStrat comes with two more decision modules than MarkStrat. First, there is the marketing powerhouse, where the student can select up to 3 marketing and digital initiatives for their brand. And there is also a digital marketing module where the students can split their budget across 5 media categories. I'm going to, of course, tell you more about these 2 new modules in a moment. And in addition to the share price index that is already found in MarkStrat, in digital MarkStrat, there is a digital marketing index called the DMI, which represents the digitalization of the company compared to the initial situation. So with the DMI, students can see how their company has evolved digitally. Now, about the consumer segments in digital MarkStrat, so they are not the same as in MarkStrat, as you can see. So the consumers have already been classified into segments. There is one for each type of market, the established and the emerging market. And again, in order to target the interesting segments, the teams, they must understand the needs of each segment, their habits, their market perception, and their expected growth. Unlike in MarkStrat, the segmentation here in this version is done by generations, and it is defined by different needs, size, and evolution. So the segments in digital MarkStrat are the baby boomers, the millennials, the professionals, Generation X, and Generation Z. Then regarding the distribution channels in digital MarkStrat, well, the consumers here in this version, they purchase through 2 online and 2 traditional distribution channels. Let me start with the online distribution channels, which are here. So the e-commerce, for example, in the real life Amazon website, and the e-store, which are the website of the companies run by the students. And then we have the 2 other channels, which are traditional physical retail space, specialty stores, and mass merchandise. As you can see in the description for each channel, so each channel has its own level of convenience and support for the consumers. Each channel also has its own rules for product pricing and availability. And so regarding the media categories, well, this is they have changed compared to MarkStrat. In digital MarkStrat, there are 5 media categories, and the teams will decide what are the best media categories to communicate to their consumers. So the first 3 media categories, digital owned, digital paid, and digital earned, are online categories. And the other 2 categories are traditional media and outdoor media advertising. And in the simulation, there is actually a table to see the consumer media habits across these media categories. Now let me talk in further detail about the marketing powerhouse in digital MarkStrat. So this new module enables participants to reinforce their global marketing efforts thanks to marketing initiatives and digital initiatives. For instance, as a marketing initiative, you have the product placement here, and this initiative has a great impact on the awareness of the purchase funnel of the brand, which is represented here. So it's the first step of the purchase funnel. Also, another example for the digital initiatives, you have the mobile app building, which unlocks 2 more digital initiatives, which is the performance marketing and the cross-selling. I want to say that all initiatives shown here, they have a different seasonality and cost. So now let me show you, just like for MarkStrat, the preview of digital MarkStrat, which is available on the internet and that you can see here. So as you can see, the structure is pretty much similar to MarkStrat. There is still the prepare section on the left side, the decide section on the right side, and in the middle, all the necessary reports for analyzing and for formulating the marketing strategies. So let me show you the novelties in digital MarkStrat, starting with in the analyze part, the customer centricity module. This is where let me actually zoom a little bit more. This is where you can see actually the purchase funnel for all the brands and for all the segments, or for each segment specifically. So the purchase funnel, it basically shows you the steps of the customer's purchase from the awareness to the advocacy. Listed here are also the marketing and digital initiatives that I am going to show you now in the module, which is the marketing powerhouse in the decide section. So here you have the list of the available marketing and digital initiatives. You can see that 3 have already been selected. They are in green, and this is the maximum that the students can select per period. So as you can see, so I mentioned in the digital initiatives, the mobile app building, but here you have the list also of the other digital initiatives. And actually, if you click on an initiative, you will have a short description as well as its implementation cost. So let me go back to the digital MarkStrat dashboard and show you then the digital marketing module in the decide section, right below marketing powerhouse. So this is where you have the 5 media categories, and students, for each of their brands, they allocate their budget, part of their budget, to the media strategy for across each of these categories. To help them allocate their budget, there is this chart below, which gives the segment media habits across these very 5 categories. Let me give you an example to illustrate. So for brand Most, the budget of the advertising, the total budget is shown here. It's $70,000. And 38% of these $70,000 is being spent in the traditional advertising, and 19% in the digital owned. So to have an overview of the budget, well, you can go into the marketing mix screen, which was already there in the MarkStrat. And for brand Most here, you select brand Most, and you have indeed a total advertising budget of $70,000 entered by the students. And by the way, speaking of the budget in the MarkStrat and in the 3 MarkStrat version, actually, you can see here by clicking here on top of the screen in the $sign, the marketing budget overview. So this is where the student will see their available budget and how it is being spent across the different decision modules, and also what budget they have left, or so what budget they can spend because budget is unused, or the budget that they have overspent. So having said that, the budget in MarkStrat, it is a function. It is a certain percentage of the earning before taxes that the team achieved in the previous year. So I have shown you all the new screens in digital MarkStrat, and now I'm going to go back to the presentation. So for this, I am putting this in full screen. Okay. And now, last but not least, I want to introduce you to our circular MarkStrat simulation, which has the theme of sustainability at its heart. Because, well, circular MarkStrat builds on digital MarkStrat, and it also includes the challenges of how to develop a market in an eco-conscious way. So in addition to the digital MarkStrat modules, the circular MarkStrat version allows participants to design eco-friendly products and business processes, to target eco-conscious consumer segments, to reduce a business carbon footprint, to understand and avoid greenwashing practices, and ultimately to discover how sustainability and profitability can be synergistic. So in circular MarkStrat, well, the participants' role, it will be the same as in digital MarkStrat. However, while developing their strategies, the participant will need to balance their choices between environmental and digital dimensions. So the team's performance will here be assessed by 3 indicators. So there is first the Financial Performance Index, or FPI, which shows the contribution, the market shares, the revenues, and shows if these have evolved positively or not. There is also the Eco Score, which reveals how environmental the team strategies have been designed. And finally, there is the Share Price Index, which here in this simulation represents 50% of the FPI and 50% of the Eco Scores, those 2 indexes I just mentioned before. So the role in circular MarkStrat, it is consistent with the ecological and the digital features of the simulation. In particular, the research and development features for the products to develop brands, they include 4 circularity attributes that I'm going to present in the next slide. But before that, I'd like to say that in circular MarkStrat, similar to in digital MarkStrat, there are marketing mix decisions that take into account online and offline communication channels. There is also for the distribution, online and offline channels. And in the marketing powerhouse module in circular MarkStrat, you have not only still the media initiatives and the digital initiative, but in addition to them, you have, of course, the circular initiatives that have been included as well. So here you can see the attributes of the brands in circular MarkStrat. There are a total of 9. The square in green represents the 4 circularity attributes, which are recycled materials, carbon footprint, repairability, and durability. And then next to them, of course, you have the usual brand attributes that you find in MarkStrat and in digital MarkStrat, which are the processing power, the display size, the design, and the battery life. So now I'd like to show you the marketing powerhouse in circular MarkStrat. So as you can see, the circular initiatives have been added. And you can select one of the initiatives like the photovoltaic panels, which will have a potential impact on the customer purchase funnel, which is here, and also on the global company Eco Score, which is represented here. So now I'd like to show you for this version a preview, also online. So I'm leaving the presentation for the last time, and then bringing you to the circular MarkStrat screen. As you can see, here is, well, no, this is MarkStrat. Okay. Yes. Okay, there we go. Yes, this is, sorry, this is the circular MarkStrat preview. So you can see the dashboard looks the same with the 3 main parts for preparing, analyzing, and deciding. So let me show you the novelties in the analyzing section, starting with the company dashboard. You can see that there are, in fact, the 3 indexes that I mentioned, and you can track their evolution from one year to another. Then there is also the customer centricity part, where you have the purchase funnel, which looks the same as digital MarkStrat. And in the decide section, you have the marketing powerhouse, where you have all the initiatives, including the circular economy initiatives and the photovoltaic panels, which I mentioned before. Then you have the distribution channels module, where actually you can see that they are split between online and offline channels, and the participants can decide to allocate part of their budget in each of these channels by referring to the shopping habits of each segment in circular MarkStrat. You will notice that the segments they are the same as in digital MarkStrat. And finally, well, there is the marketing mix, where you also have in circular MarkStrat the communication channels, which are organized as online communication channels and offline communication channels. And this is where students choose to communicate on these channels. So that concludes, well, with the circular MarkStrat overview. I'm going back to the presentation one last time, and this concludes actually the preview of the 3 MarkStrat versions. So the journey across MarkStrat I intended to show you today, it's also to make you see that as a teacher, as an instructor, you can also create your own MarkStrat journey with your students. And here, for that, I have here shown you the different implementation possibilities for MarkStrat in your program. In fact, the 3 versions of MarkStrat, they can fit various schedules. You can do it in 2 days if you are under time pressures, in 4.5 days, or in 1 semester of 11 weeks. And this is the example for a semester of 11 weeks. So as you can see below, there are the introduction and the 10 rounds and the final debriefs. You can spread them over a semester of 11 weeks. And in the left table, so let's say you have a class every Tuesday during the semester. And so during the second Tuesday for week 2, you can, for example, make the transition from the first round of MarkStrat, which can serve as like a warm-up a practice session for your students to, well, the real, let's say, the real, well, all the rounds are real, but to the next rounds of MarkStrat where the students have access to all the decision-making modules. And to prepare them for that, you can rely on the documentation that is available in our instructor, in your instructor account. So you can give them reading assignment and also introductory slides. And then for the remaining of the simulation, so every Tuesday from the 3rd to the 10th week, you can run each round the following way. So you can close the previous round. Before opening the next round, you can organize a lecture, a discussion, give reading assignments, and then move on to the next round up until the end of round 10, where you can give a final debrief to announce the final results to all the teams. So this concludes my presentation of the journey across MarkStrat.
Thank you, Hugo.
I thank you very much for your attention today and for the opportunity to have been invited. If you want any further information about MarkStrat and static simulations, you can check our website, which is web.staticsimulations.com, web.staticsimulations.com. Or if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can write us an email at licensing@staticsim.com. This is licensing@staticsim.com. And then, well, I'm going to reactivate the camera.
Thank you, Hugo.
To say, well, thank you very much.
It was
Sarah.
very clear.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. And I just wanted to, well, undo the sharing of the screen. Okay, there we go. Yes, and then start again. Yes.
Okay,
yes, so
perfect.
It's better like this. So yeah, I would like to say, well, a few final words in Italian. Grazie mille.
Grazie a te.
E anche buon compleanno all'Università Tor Vergata di Roma.
Grazie, grazie Hugo. Thank you very much. We will keep in touch, of course, for MarkStrat of next year.
Great. Well, thank you also, Sarah, for being a trusted user of MarkStrat and a very passionate one. I heard all the energy you put in your presentation. It was very, very engaging.
It was
so
pleasure.
I was very, very glad. It's too bad that there was the technical issue. I couldn't hear your entire speech, but from what I heard, it sounded very, very engaging and interesting.
That's perfect. Okay, so you can hire me in the future, maybe.
Yes, we'll think about
Just
that.
joking. Okay, I change in Italian if you allow me, Hugo, just to say goodbye to the public, okay?
Ok.
Ok. Allora il tempo insomma si è concluso, ci sarebbero ancora tantissime cose da dire, insomma ha dato un sacco di spunti, l'importanza del marketing mix che per noi è un po' una sorta di Bibbia per noi che facciamo marketing, però magari lo affronteremo in altre situazioni. Io vi ringrazio per l'attenzione e vi auguro una buona giornata e un buon proseguimento. Arrivederci a tutti.